Hi, I'm Mark Gaylor. I'm a Sony Global Imaging Ambassador. Let's take a look at the multi-selector. Appears on the third generation of Sony A7 cameras and also the A9. Now we can quickly move the AF spot focus point around the screen, but there are a couple of other functions of the multi-selector. Probably one of the reasons it's got multi in the word. So let's first take a look at moving that focus point. I'm in single shot AF here, so you'll hear me snap on focus. I'll slide that over to the second object. Now pressing the multi-selector in centers that AF point. So basically it's not only a joystick, it's also serving as a button to make selections and also do certain functions. So let's take a look at some of those functions. Now the next one is by pressing the multi-selector in, we can also override a wide AF area in continuous AF. So this will give us access to a center AF point and single shot AF. So let's take a look at that as it works out. Okay, so first of all, wide. We're also in continuous AF. Now let's go and take a look at pressing that multi-selector in. Okay, there you see AFS and center focus. So that's a quick override that I found very useful rather than going into menus to alter focus area. It'll only do that if you've left it as focus standard. So I'll take a look at grabbing that custom key button using the multi-selector. Okay, so let's again go into the menus. I'll go down and then across very quickly and then go in by pressing that multi-selector in to select the multi-selector, and you can see it's focus standard, which is on the AF1. That should be the way that multi-selector is set up, but you may have changed that, and you may not get as many options if you have, so it's worth taking a look at. Let's take another look at using the multi-selector, this time to navigate the main menus. Taking a look on the back of that screen there, you can see the enter button. Now this would typically be performed by pressing the center button in the control wheel, but we can also make that selection by pressing the multi-selector in. So again, let's take a look at this short movie of me doing that. Okay, so going in, let's press the multi-selector in when we get to our option. We can go up or down to choose our options. Now some of these options have subcategories of options, so that's the way we can go left and right to choose that, and then going back up and down to select the main options. Okay, so that's the way I typically navigate menus rather than using the control wheel. It's a little bit of a difficult habit to break if your previous models of cameras just use the control wheel and center button. My workflow for using the multi-selector differs slightly when I'm making a selection from the function menu. So let's take a look at that. We're basically going to move the multi-selector over the menu item, but I don't need to press the multi-selector in to then start adjusting the options of that menu item. Instead, I'll just use the front dial and rear dial. So let's see that in progress there. So as I navigate quickly across, and then without pressing the multi-selector in, if I just move the front dial, I can access the options on the top row. If there's options on the bottom row below, then I can change those very quickly using the rear dial. Okay, so just to recap, front dial for options above that line, and rear dial for options below. Those are the options that have multiple variations on that theme. Okay, so let's take a look at another use of the multi-selector. I said there were quite a few. This time in manual focus. Now I'm going to use the multi-selector to pitch the magnify view so I can get critical focus. Now you can see that I've got the focus peaking on in this instance. Now I've assigned the magnify view to my C4 button, but the rest of the function of the focus procedure will be done with the multi-selector tool. Okay, so coming out of continuous AF into manual focus with focus peaking, C4, then move that area so I can critically magnify the view that I want to sharpen. And then by pressing a second time, it will magnify again. Pressing a third time will come out of magnify view. So there we see the multi-selector in manual focus workflow. There is one more option that I'd like to cover, and that is center lock-on AF. Now, I often use this in conjunction with the touch operation. So I'm actually touching the screen to switch center lock-on AF on and then off again. Now, this is the center lock-on AF is for tracking subjects when shooting movies. We have more sophisticated lock-on options in the focus area settings. So center lock-on is specifically used for tracking subjects when shooting movies. So let's take a look at that in operation. This is very suited to when the camera is at the eye, i.e. we're using the EVF and we're not using the touch screen. Okay, so let's take a look at that workflow. Again, I'm going to be in wide, and then just by switching the center lock-on AF on first, this will override what the multi-selector does. Now it's going to initiate the center lock-on. This will allow me to move the subject or move the camera and then follow that subject. And again, just pressing one more time, I can cancel that lock-on AF. I'm Mark Gaylor. If you found that quite useful, just give me the thumbs up. Head over to my website, www.markgaylor.com. I've got a lot of learning resources here, and it's all free. If you do find that you've downloaded some resources and you've found them really valuable, just come back and make a small donation. It will keep me in business, so to speak. Okay, I'm Mark Gaylor, Sony Global Imaging Ambassador.